Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
Evergreen power pick in the top lane with the Cassante.
Yeah, there you go. Poppy Ban, Cassante, first pick here for Thanatos. So at that top lane matchup that we have had our eyes on, this sets you up for success, whether it's a lane swap or whether it is standard lanes. So let's see what the response here from Loud is and what the current priority is looking like. A Skarner game possibly here for Wiz. Their tiebreaker versus Pain. Of course, they also used the Skarner. That was their Mel and Ezreal, poke game as well. So the Ezreal itself actually picked up again here too. So both the Skarner and the Ezreal coming back after their most recent game. We'll see if they also supplement with Mel, but insta-locks from Cloud9 Flowers.
Absolutely. The Zyra, as long as she has her E, those grasping binds available, it's so difficult for the Skarner to ever get on top of her with the Ishtal impact. You can easily control the zone, disengage from that. Corki also having flex value. You can take him bot lane, you can take him mid lane if you want to. Keeps them guessing on Loud side.
Yeah, the power clear here for Blabber. Blabber definitely quite good at all types of junglers, but carry junglers especially. He loves keeping his farm super high, trying to be as efficient as possible around the map. And anytime you have a Leandri's builder, it feels nice when you see, Skarner, which is rushing a lot of max health. And Leona will be a very good target for him as well. Let's see about the bans here to come out then, because of course Corki is flexible, so Cloud9 giving away a bit less information. Looks like we are going to continue to target support here, though. Some of those Leona answers, Alistar off the board.
I feel like the first half of the draft went really fast. There wasn't a whole lot of sitting around and thinking about this. Both teams seem to have a plan coming into this one. You already mentioned the Alistar getting banned away here. I wouldn't be surprised to see more support bans coming out from Loud's side. Mel going to be the ban for C9.
Yeah, I think, looking at even just at their most recent game here, super good ban here. Mel works so well, in comps that have a decent amount of range in other places as well. Kit really complements, the likes of Ezreal and stuff, so banning that one out again. Plus, it's just an annoying lane to deal with. All right, they're worried about some other forms of engage from Cloud9, namely because Blabber is on the Zyra and is much more counter-engage champ, much more DPS here. So they don't want the utility of an Ashe and the other engage options to go over to Cloud9. Makes sense.
Okay, Talia, the final ban here from C9. As, their comp is currently lacking pretty much all forms of actual engage. Cassante is great at having a Cassante moment if you try to tower dive him. Zyra is great at counter-engaging like you're talking about, but where's the real go button? Where's the gasoline for Cloud9? That's what I want to see in the second half of this draft, but it is Loud's pick first. We'll see what they want to settle on here. They've already got their jungler. They've already got their bot lane duo. Solo laners need to be picked up, and Aurora is the first of those to be locked in.
Okay, Loud piling on engage. Skarner, Leona, and Aurora angles for them here. They certainly will be getting their engages onto the Zyra. We will see how much damage the Zyra gets off before it goes down, but definitely is going to be the target. The Corki, very mobile here, of course, and it looks like the Corki will be going bottom if they lock the way here for the extra long range.
All right, that's exactly what they're going to do. Okay, so now we've got some wave clear. We've got some range, very standard control mage type of stuff for C9. But Kobe, I'm looking all over. I don't see it. Where's the engage?
Well, Vulcan here. Still yet to pick, and there you have it, Flowers. The rail here to set them up. It actually is so good with Hwei too. Hwei has that really nice AoE to complement, so Cloud9 pretty well-rounded composition for themselves. Cassante, very adept at playing the side lanes. They have very strong team fight for themselves, also have some good range for themselves. Loud have indexed pretty heavily into dive and engage though, so there we go. We're going to index even heavier. There we go. We do get one of the Robo champs, the Olaf coming out here into the Cassante. If lane phase doesn't go well for an Olaf, then it becomes really hard, but their team is just so much dive that everybody's going to be playing the same direction. We'll see if Loud can get back to the Hwei and put real pressure on those carries.
Foxes are good at chopping down weeds, buddy. That Zyra might be able to peel most champions away, but Olaf berserking in that Ragnarok could be a real problem if Robo can get ahead early. Specifically, if Loud are going to be the first team from the Southern Conference to take a game here at this cross-conference play, where do you want to see them focus in this early game?
I mean, I do want to see them make sure that this Olaf doesn't fall behind the gold curve of the game. Olaf definitely needs to keep up gold, keep up experience. So index into whatever we have to do to make sure that doesn't happen. You know, whether it's jungle clearing up towards that top lane or to the other side if the lane swap does come out. Invade, get those deep lane swap wards down for yourselves as well. Olaf also is quite good in level 1s, so maybe they can cook up a level 1 and try and make use of the undertow.
Oh yeah, spamming those out, the constant slows, you're pretty much guaranteed to at least get a flash and then make a return play somewhere else with your jungler as time goes forward with that powerful Skarner. About to load into game number 1. C9 with the Corki bottom too. I know that we talk about the Corki as a flex pick. I personally prefer to see it in the bottom lane. I feel like ever since the changes with the package, that's kind of his home now. Mid lane's more of his vacation home. And him in his normal home.
And especially when you're playing into the Aurora, you know, a lot of people like the range there, so you go with the Hui, have some good mid lane phase there for Loki. See what they can get done. Make sure this Aurora doesn't roam around too much. Of course, post 6 side lane roams are very, very annoying from the Aurora. But here's that level 1 we're looking for. Flowers, led by the Olaf.
Blabber's just going to get as much distance as he can, and he will strut away easily from that undertow. Does not want to get caught out by Loud as they invade the top side jungle of C9.
Get those lane swap wards down. It is critical. Going for the extra deep version here for Robo, but it looks like they did spot it from Cloud9. Cloud9 ping's going down on it.
Okay, looks like we're not going to get a whole lot else, but
because they saw it, I think they could just clear it out. Vulcan's got a sweeper, and actually it's in tower range.
Little bit of a misplay there. So Vulcan just taking a little vacation to that top lane real fast to clear that out. And while the minions are about to spawn, let's check in on Cloud9's real-life trip to Brazil so far. Looks like they're having a good time.
It does. It's a party.
Yeah,
it's a party, Flowers.
They're having a good one on that. As in the game itself, we do look like we're in for a lane swap, Kobe. I'm not a big fan of these, but clearly their popularity remains, and it's Loud who are going to be the ones doing the swapping. They have Root and Winsome up here in the top lane to put extra pressure on Thanatos, but K'Sante, famously, one of the top laners that just deals with it really well.
Yeah, K'Sante very good at it. That's why they were looking for the deep lane swap wards. I want to know where I can get one of those Vulcan shirts, though. Actually, that custom Vulcan shirt,
that was cool.
Looked pretty good to me. Currently, though, as you say, it's just going to be them clearing up. And Zyra here, Blabber, did start on their red quadrant, and so he's just coming up to Thanatos' side of the map currently. There is a Loud ward that is on blue buff that just expired right now, but Robo's also there. So Loud are just overloading and looking for the possible dive here, but Blabber's clearing towards that side. So if Zyra can also get there, and it's a level 2 K'Sante already for Thanatos, they should be able to defend it. Meanwhile, Cloud9 bottom lane is just mining money off these turret plates. Those turret plates on the bottom line just melt away. Looks like Blabber does get chased off the Grump, and he does not have a smite charge, so.
No, Wiz, however, does.
Oh, it's coming up soon, though. Maybe he can
contest this. Blabber does secure it and hits level 4. Robo is still level 1 on the Olaf. Loud is committing so much trying to make this dive happen. Thanatos level 2, Blabber level 4. Loud has to find success here. They've already wasted so much time. They try to make the dive go in, but a nice pathmaker coming out from Thanatos. It's first blood over to Blabber, and it might get even worse. Loud's plan, everything was put in this top lane basket, and the eggs splatter all over the floor. First blood to C9.
Honestly, I'm very surprised that Loud still went for that dive after meeting Blabber and Thanatos here just fine on the K'Sante. Now Robo, for a second there was a level 1 Olaf in the face of a level 3 Cassante. Plus, Blabber on Zyra is turbo accelerated, not to mention the bottom lane. We're not even going to go over the bottom lane, Flowers.
No, we're not going to talk about it.
It wasn't on camera, so if you don't look at those turret plates going down, then you don't have to worry about that until you meet up with very rich Corki later. But like pretty much everywhere is going to be accelerated for Cloud9 now. Off of that, you win every side of the map. This is some of the most disastrous first 4 minutes of a game that I've seen in a while. Pretty rough stuff here for Loud after that dive. You know, Skarner going to be significantly behind because of spending the time going for that.
Yeah.
And when you get behind a Zyra, I know you know this pain, Flowers.
I know this pain, brother, and it looks like there's even more pain in store for Robo. He drops as the minion wave is already underneath the turret, so even if he can TP back, there's still going to be multiple minions lost up here as C9 now brings Sven and Vulcan up into the top lane to continue mining for that plate money.
Oh my goodness, I guess now that you've seen them, you do have to worry about all the extra money they got. Here comes Wiz though. Let's see. Vulcan and Sven should be able to work their way out of this as long as they don't take aggro. Yep, no problem.
Oh, and Sven hits him with the classic Papega Frog as well. He is absolutely unintimidated by any of this. Robo and Wiz, normally you would expect a duo of jungler and top laner to have higher levels than the enemy duo bot. Not the case, not in this one. Loud is so far behind just 5 minutes into the game.
This is crazy, Flowers. I was looking at it was a 2,000 gold lead at 4 minutes and 40 seconds after they just got that, you know, return kill on Robo where bot lane swap back over. I just see this pain actually getting way worse for Loud.
Yeah.
So this was the stat I was talking about at the intro, though, at the very beginning of the day. As we go for another one,
we don't have time for stats other than kills, my friend, and C9 has 3 of them, not even 6 minutes into the game. Feat of Warfare claimed. Robo dead again. C9, another plate smashed on the ground.
I think I'm going to have to go to Twitch chat, Flowers, and get some bets here, because the stat was Cloud9, of all the teams that made it here to the America stage, they had the fastest average game time.
32 minutes or so, wasn't it?
Exactly. And Loud had the longest. So I think that Cloud9 are going to beat their average. So my ask to Twitch chat would be, how many minutes faster than their average, which was 32 minutes, are they aiming at in this game? Because just it is 2.8K the gold lead at 6.5 minutes now. Maybe we're getting way too far ahead of ourselves because at least Loud are getting a dragon, but it certainly is going to be very painful here. I mean, Sven on the Corki is going to be a big problem as well. Just everybody here for Cloud9 with an individual gold lead.
I'm not going to mince words. In a realistic game of League of Legends, it is hard to have a worse start than this, than what Loud has had in the first 7 minutes of this game. They got the Drake, yes, but that was because Blabber was also already grabbing those first 3 grubs. Tanone's now in trouble as the Spiraling Despair is connected. Severing Bolt over the top from Loki brings Tanone's down to 300 HP. It forces the enemy mid laner back, allows the wave to crash, and gives Loki the timer he wants.
Yeah, one reason why we're kind of freaking out also is because Cloud9 with this comp, they have so much range and poke that when, you know, they get so far ahead really early on, and, you know, things like the Olaf and stuff that really rely on those stats to be able to charge in and fully commit to an engage, it seems like it's going to be very difficult for them later on to play their, you know, dive style here with the Olaf, Skarner, Leona trying to go right into the team. Maybe, you know, they can obviously still pull out some surprise plays there, especially looking at Tinone's on the Aurora. Aurora with ultimate and flash can definitely create some magic. Maybe if they get like a support roam to mid to help him push out and then buy him some time, can make a play and try and collect some of the Cloud9 gold.
It is a tough spot for Loud any way you look at it. At least the ultis online might give them the opportunity to make some sort of a play. Robo 0-2 and 0 down on the Olaf, like you already mentioned. He's going to run into the Zyra. Sure, he won't get CC'd, but I'm pretty sure those ulti-empowered plants will just kill him.
Yeah, the jungler has a 2-level lead over the the top laner. So yeah, that will be painful. 3 grubs though for Cloud9, so very clearly I think they should keep their top lane up here. You know, you want to get that 6-pack of grubs if you want to push your game time, Flowers.
Oh yeah.
Or push your game time lower so they can end quicker, destroy these towers. So it looks like they're keeping up plenty of vision well before the spawn of second grubs, and Blabber coming in here to try and be as annoying as possible. You know, Zyra with the extremely quick clear and the Faded Ashes already, so comes in, tries to push the Skarner off, keep that Skarner farm extremely low, should be no problem. And I just don't see any way that Loud can or should even try and go sniff around the second grub pack. They should just, you know, keep the cross map play, try and you know, play off the other side and see if they can get something while Cloud9 commit resources to the second pack of grubs.
I mean, man, 52 to 85 in farm in the jungle. The front line for Loud is just in no condition to even play the game.
Well, right now with Leona and Skarner escorting Tinones, it looks like they are doing some setup for the second grub pack, so maybe they will fight it. Despite getting behind early on, maybe they feel like they'll be in position. They have their vision coverage so far and win some kind of camping up here. He would need to leech a bit more to get his level 6 if they want to fight it though. Leona really desperately needs that experience for level 6. There we go.
There he goes, but he walks into a little bit of damage from Loki at the same time. Luckily, the Eclipse is going to protect him from a large portion of that. But C9, once again, controlling the topside river.
So Flowers, if both Thanatos and Robo teleport in, you get a level 9 Cassante teleporting in and a level 7 Olaf.
I want the first one.
Yeah, pretty big discrepancy there. And currently, Thanatos has the Olaf pushed under tower. So let's take a look at this. Loud might try and fight. It looks like they're positioning for it.
All right, Blabber has already started up the set of grubs. Wiz wants to try to tunnel in here and make a play. He goes for the ultimate there onto Loki. Nice follow-up with the Eclipse. Massive engage coming out from Loud that killed Loki and Blabber both. That's exactly what the Brazilian squad needed, and they're gonna take the last 2 grubs with them.
Sven was still pushing top lane, Flowers. That was a beautiful engage from Wiz. He cruises right past Vulcan. He nails Loki right there, groups them up. They get the Ezreal ult over the top, and Loud with a comeback play there. Even though Cloud9 still get 4, Loud getting some money and getting some kills, plus 2 of those grubs is definitely way better than the direction that the game had been heading.
Yes, that is the biggest play in this game by miles for Loud. They needed that. Let's take another look at how it happens with Wiz going in first.
So Riz, he cruises right past here. Vulcan tries a Q, but it's definitely too late there. Skarner gets Loki in with the ultimate, and then that Aurora from the top side nails him right there in the river. And as you can see, you know, Sven was pushing in the top wave, so Cloud9 did not have their other big carry there, and Loud fans are popping off.
They are living up to their name, my friend. They are excited to see their team not down and out of this one here just yet. They've still got a lot of ways to go. There's a lot of game left that they've still got to try to claw their way back into, but that does show that there are angles they can find to do it. C9 now looking maybe for something onto Robo, but they won't get a whole lot. It's still Olaf. He can just pop the ulti and run.
Yeah, honestly, I would say for Loud, if you continue to look for these plays onto Loki, because they burned his flash in that play, plus getting the kill. Flashless Hwei is going to be one of those dream targets for them. Currently, though, with Cloud9 investing all their resources down to the other side to make sure they get that dragon, you're going to have to wait that play out, and you're going to have to go through a lot of vision. You see all these wards here, shallow wards up through Loud's jungle that Cloud9 are going to leave behind after they take the dragon.
Dragon secured, so that's going to be a 1-to-1 count for those neutral objectives. Which soul are we getting here? Infernal Soul on this map, so a lot of extra damage for whoever keeps farming those up. Tinones versus Thanatos up here in the top side. Thanatos with the Iceborne Gauntlet already completed. Obviously going to have the edge over that Olaf, so they're just sending the Aurora to deal with him instead. As down in the bottom lane, Loki once again in the sights of Loud, like you were talking about. It's an immobile control mage without a flash. Normally that paints a big target on his head. but Loki's doing a good job trying to stay safe. Has Roots in some danger. Sven going in, looking for the solo kill, and he gets it, no problem. Now Wiz wants revenge, but Sven flashes right back away, and Blabber is ready to punish the Skarner oh so easily. C9 get 2 more for free.
Sven putting that money to good work right there on the Corki. Meanwhile, we're still going.
Yeah, down to the bottom lane, Loki with no summoner spells, no way out, and Robo gets a much-needed influx of gold.
Yeah, get that dub for Loud. Continue to try and prey on the flashless way because everything else on the map, Cloud9 are just blowing up here. Sven able to finish off the turret after they get those 2 kills in mid lane. Blabber also investing his flash to go for it, but I mean, he's kept up his 2-level lead on Zyra. Nice stuff here for him. His fully completed Leandries is going to be so painful for the majority of these Loud characters to deal with.
And there is a big story of this early game right there. Plus 1,000 gold for C9 just in plates alone. A grand total of 12 taken by their squad to only the 3 secured by Loud.
Yep, definitely a big source of all that gold lead that you see up on the scoreboard here. Of course, the other kind of benefit for Cloud9 of Blabber being so far ahead is even if Loki is targeted over and over on the Quay and kept down, like Blabber is going to be more than enough magic damage for them in the team fights as well. And it's not like Loki hasn't been able to have any income, just gets targeted a little bit more. He's up to the side lane again though here, and his flash will be up soon as Thanatos finishes off that tower as well. 2 now here down.
Easy stuff. Let's see if C9 can take control over the top side river. Loud possess it for now. Wiz and Winsome waiting together here in this control warded brush. Seeing if C9 just gets a little bit too cocky, a little bit too careless, like they did the last time they fought over an objective in this top side river. The Herald spawning in about 30 seconds, a little bit more. C9 now bringing more men into the area, means they'll be more confident to push up, and Loud will have to respect it.
Certainly will. This time around too, it's interesting because the teleports are desynced for Thanatos and Robo, and after Robo getting that kill onto Loki, you know, catching back up pretty decently for himself, chops down that gold deficit a little bit, and him being able to have the earlier teleport, Loud may look to try and pull some numbers advantage play on the other side of the map, because currently Thanatos pushing that extra bottom wave, but there's no real like deep wards for Loud to work with. Cloud9 have done a pretty good job of clearing all that out, so maybe no surprise Olaf positioning. And Thanatos actually going to walk his way up because of the teleport discrepancy here, so Cassante going to take the long walk up the river to make sure something like that second grove fight does not happen again.
Well, my friend, we are halfway to your earlier stated stat of Cloud9's average game time. 32 minutes. We got 16 minutes on the clock right now, and C9 are starting up the Herald. This is a great accelerant if you're looking to knock down that Nexus a little bit faster. Oftentimes, this will result in at least a single turret being taken, but usually if you've got a lead about 5,000, you'll get way more than that.
Yeah, definitely can use, especially if you can use it to get down the secondary turrets on the side lanes. Big rewards there. Since mid lane is already down and open there for them, they can invest the Rift Herald into a side lane and get a lot of gold out of it. Loud though, they make the correct call, cross map play. Robo just get the bottom side turret, so Robo getting some much more needed gold. Meanwhile, engage onto Hui here.
Nicely done from Tinones. Wants to go after Loki, but the disengage from C9's mid laner with a flash to escape the between worlds. I like the aggro. I like the bloodthirst from Tinones.
Yeah, good move from Tinones. And you can tell Loki is sweating here, Flowers. Loki no ult or flash now. So again, he will be the main target, the most vulnerable member of Cloud9. Everybody else on Cloud9 though, still quite powerful, and as the dragon is spawning, they're moving in to try and get their setup first. They pushed mid, they pushed bottom, so very good setup work for them. Minions going down these lanes will allow river control first. And we'll see, with Vulcan and Thanatos both positioning on brush here, it's very scary for Loud to move in.
Oh yeah.
So Blabber should be able to pull out the dragon and set this one up. Loki does have teleports, even though he doesn't have flash now and is way more vulnerable. At least he still does have that teleport cooldown, so would be able to answer, and it is just going to be given over Cloud9 with the extra dragon.
So it felt like Cloud9 was going really fast in the early game, just knocking them over, building up these huge gold leads, and then we've kind of been on cruise control for a little bit now. How does Cloud9 further accelerate this to really bring down that 32-minute average game?
Yeah, I think the only speed bump for them has been the target on the back of Loki, because they have checked the other boxes of keeping the foot on the gas pedal. I would say, you know, you mentioned the Rift Herald. They also go collect the dragon immediately there, and they did their safety work, push both lanes first, ward up both of these brush by dragon first, you know, plant Cassante and Rel to make sure nobody else can get in there. So I think they are, you know, continuing to keep up the quick pace for themselves. And next step, presumably, would be use the Rift Herald on top side. You could get 2 towers, as we were kind of mentioning there before. If you just pop that outer tower immediately, and then try and get a Rift Herald drive into the secondary tower, can be a lot of rewards there. They do have to be a little bit careful here, though. And it looks like, yeah, Loki take another little chunk of damage here from Tinones.
But Loki's got a lot of dudes behind him this time. This is the Loki bait. They're just throwing him out there saying, oh, look, it's the guy you kill all the time. Don't you want to kill him again? And as soon as Loud goes in to kill him, C9's going to be ready for the counter punch. Loud knows better, though. They're not going to overcommit to just the Loki. Instead, they'll just hang around. Robo trying to steal away a little bit of resources here in the bottom lane. Robo at least caught up pretty well, considering how disastrous the early game was for him. Only 100 gold behind the Cassante now.
Yeah, and you know, getting his kill onto the Quay, definitely helping out there. As well, you know, Ezreal at least got the transform for Muramana. He may be a full item behind Sven, so he's still like definitely not caught up, but at least he's got his transform on his Muramana there. You know, trying to rush to those 2 item breakpoints at least for Ezreal, bypassing the boots a little bit there. See what he can get done, because Root is really the big, you know, best mechanics on the team. Really looking for him to do a lot of work for Loud. We'll see what they can do. Of course, Sven has been very aggressive with his giant gold lead on the Corki, as he should be, and he's got the rapid fire cannon as his extra item over Root in the matchup, so that's going to provide a lot more poke, a lot of extra safety there. This Cloud9 group, Rift Herald on top side where Otacon already is, so they got to at very least get the outer tower first. I would say ideally we'd get a drive into the second tower here, but you don't want to fully compromise positioning and have to worry about this Loud team fully engaging and getting a flank. We'll see if they can safely get the second charge off or not. Loud are here contesting a bit.
Wiz did use the smite on the large Krug, so that's not going to be available to stop the Herald, but it's not like it's needed. C9, like you're talking about, they don't want to overcommit to shoving this thing into the tier 2. Instead, that'll get killed off before it ever makes that second contact. True Shot Barrage from Root to check the Voracious Otacon. Just make sure C9 aren't starting it up. We've seen plenty of disasters of teams starting this thing up too early, too confidently, only to have the other team show up and ace them, and it doesn't appear that Cloud9's interested in falling into that trap, as they're going to draw Otacon into the turret. Okay. Yeah,
this one leashes pretty far because of the channel spell, and looks like even Otacon has decided, all right, Loki is the member on Cloud9. I want to attack as well. This Quay that very shortly should have his flash up if the indicator is correct, and have that extra little bit of safety. But Cloud9 currently with Dragon number 3, only 1 minute away, investing some resources to the other side of the map.
All right, C9 making a play on Robo down here in the bot lane, but immediately he pops the Ragnarok and walks it off. It is an ult for ult trade, though, as Vulcan used the Magnet Storm to guarantee the force of the Ragnarok. Now the follow-up from C9. Thanatos forces Robo away, and Sven collects all the damage of the tier 2 turret.
And the Olaf ultimate is a 73-second cooldown currently, as Sven has to flash. Nice little punishment.
Yeah, I like that from Loud. They go for the Solar Flare afterwards, but they aren't going to find Sven. Sidestepping away from that Zenith Blade right afterwards. Cloud9's bringing the whole party. Loud's got to get out of here. Vulcan goes for the engage. They throw down the Zyra ult, but it only hits Winsome. He's got to be a little bit careful now. Vulcan might just die to the Ignite. Meanwhile, Thanatos going all out into the backline, and Root's going to be killed off next. Sven goes on a rampage, and Robo has to run all the way away. C9 gets a 2-for-1 and control of over the Drake pit.
Yep, that's going to be Dragon number 3 for Cloud9 after the chase. The rotation over from the rest of the team made possible by Sven dodging both Leona engaged spells there. The ultimate and the E, nice little just sidesteps backwards for him. Here's another look at it though. They were so deep because of taking the secondary tower. And then Thanatos teleporting out, but then returning with the rest of the team, as you can see on the minimap roaming down now. So Sven, he flashes away from Skarner ult, dodges both attempts of engage from the Leona, and that allows the turn from Cloud9. Once they're all here, they know they're going to be able to chase through with their monetary advantage. Still getting the one counter kill there for Loud in taking down Vulcan. Having the Ignite on him is something for them, but yeah, still smiles for Cloud9. They know what the early game advantage, as long as they're able to, you know, make the rotation over after chasing so far, they will be able to get that Dragon number 3 and their gold lead up here at over 6,000.
Massive.
As we get to the Otacon fight.
Okay, the Otacon starting up. True Shot Barrage did not hit anybody on C9, only the Otacon itself, which is not really being focused down that hard just yet. Now, finally, C9 brings everybody up here. Blabber on the Zyra does a ton of damage to this thing, but they got to make sure they don't allow Wiz to come in and steal it away. Grabbing the false lives and then taking a team fight from that could be an opportunity for Loud to come back into the game a little bit, but Sven and Vulcan going to chase Robo back down into the mid lane here. Otacon itself going to reset on the aggro. Loud are going to take the opportunity to secure the tier 1 top lane turret for themselves, as Robo takes a blast cone, gets all the way away back down to the bottom lane, and he's just going to move on over and keep pushing the wave.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to put pressure on the tower while the rest of the team is up here standing in front of Otacon. 5K on the health.
Okay, Thanatos still frontlining, trying to keep everybody else from Loud away from the Otacon, down to about 3,500 now. A TP's about to show up here from Robo as Otacon resets. C9 looking to draw battle lines here, but they got to be careful. Between Worlds already dropped. Wintom's about to die. He's all alone in the back line of C9. It ain't going to matter. Robo, he wants Sven, but he's not going to get what he wants today. A double kill back over to the Corki as Root, Tinones, and Wiz are left to run. Root separated from the other 2 members of his team as he tries to kite and fight his way out of it. But C9 haven't lost a single player, and they're back on the objective.
Yeah, it looked like Thanatos wanted some more kills, but the rest of the team says, you know what, we've got Otacon, let's just take the Otacon, finish that objective off, and then go for Baron afterwards. No need to over chase. Cloud9 at 26 minutes here are going to get both of the mega buffs, Flowers. This is just such a huge pushing power with the range that they have with their composition, the extra stats from Baron, and the revive mechanic from Otacon. The next Cloud9 siege should be devastating for the Loud base. Here's another look at the start of it, and Cloud9 are actually taking a lot of the Otacon debuff at the moment. But it's because they're so confident with the lead that they have. Then when they see the teleport come in from Robo, and the engage actually comes out from Tinones on the left side, it was just Winsome on the right side. So Cloud9 turned on Winsome, got the early health lead, and Robo tried to chase through to kind of like salvage the play there with a little extra pressure on Sven. But at that point, it's just too late. You know, they already kind of desynced a little bit too much on their engage.
I mean, you're talking about this next C9 push should be devastating. I feel like it should be game-ending with all these buffs combined. Winsome Solar Eclipse, not going to find a lot. Root's True Shot Barrage doing the same. C9.
Side lanes.
They are not threatened whatsoever. Their side lanes are already pushing in with the pincer attack, as Thanatos will break into the enemy base uncontested. Loki's going to take the tier 2 top the same way, and now the 3-man squad in the mid lane that completely avoided any threat of danger from the Loud engage attempt is just going to continue pushing forward themselves.
Here it comes, the C9 onslaught with the double mega buffs. Already, Cassandre opened up bottom side, and now top side is the next target. This thing melts as well. Top side tower down.
Top side tier 3 is gone. The inhibitor itself about to be rubble as Loud scramble to try to protect their base. C9 still has the false lives here for a little bit longer, and they're going to use every second to keep this push going strong. Nexus turret's under fire. First one's already about to die. It's gone. Second Nexus turret is all that stands between C9 and a fast game 1 win as the mid lane inhibitor falls and Loud scramble to try to defend. Thanatos will be the first one ready to jump in on the Casante as Winston goes to the back line of C9. Big between worlds, but it's not big enough. Loud is simply too far behind. Robo into the back, at least gets one. He takes out Sven. Maybe he's got a second. Spiraling Despair is about to pop off, and a Skarner ulti grabs another. By a miracle, Loud are holding on still, but Loki and Blabber remain ready to fight. Wiz barely gets back onto the steps of the fountain, but the Nexus itself is soaking damage. The minions will win it if nothing else, and C9, 28.5 minutes in, takes game 1.
Cloud9 with such a big early lead.